Welcome to the Forward Marketing Podcast, the podcast that covers internet marketing strategies and leadership tactics to move your business forward. With your host, Joshua Jarvis. Welcome back to Forward Marketing Podcast. Again, I'm your host, Joshua Jarvis. That's the number 4, rdmarketing.com is where you'd find it. That'd be forwardmarketingpodcast.com/podcast is where you'd see all of the podcasts. And I don't know if you've noticed over the last few weeks, but we've really kind of beefed up our show notes pages to be pretty much full-on transcripts with links to everything that we talk about in the podcast. I don't want to waste any time today. We've got a lot of great episodes lined up for the finish of the year, and one of the ones I'm most excited about is actually today's podcast with our guest, John Poley. And what we've done is we've said, okay, John, what is the best webinar or anything you've ever given away that people have paid for that you'd be willing to give to my audience? And he said it's Facebook A to Z. And so for the next 2 weeks, we've got a longer than normal episodes, but more in depth than normal. Everything you wanted to know about Facebook marketing. John is the expert. Certainly, I know how to do Facebook marketing, but there's no one that does it better than, in my opinion, than John, especially when it comes to people who are in real estate. In case you don't know who John is, John created the first training on how to launch a Facebook Live manual, and before it was even invented by Facebook. And I actually know John from Keller Williams, and back in 2014, Keller Williams rolled out a mobile app. And they said, we're going to give away money, I think it was $20,000, to whoever had the most downloads for this mobile app. And John was the winner of that by a large margin and was actually named the number 1 lead generator for Keller Williams at the time by Lead Pages. Now, Lead Pages was the one that's tracking that. So that's if Lead Pages says you're a great lead generator, then I'm pretty sure they know what they're talking about. So I could go on and on and on. John is known for his history in Craigslist. He's known for anything that is sort of marketing related. Obviously, that's one of those things. But there's really one thing that sort of stands out to me that is probably a little bit more impressive than any of his digital marketing thing, and that is that he's a 2-time survivor of terminal cancer. This guy is a survivor. This guy is someone that understands what it takes to be a winner. And so this is one of the reasons why I think he's a great guest today, and also why he is also someone you should follow in this space. During this webinar, and we're going to post the video on the show notes as well, but during this webinar, he actually gives you guys a way to download some free content from him, and all of his free content is stuff that you can take and actually generate leads with. And that's one of the reasons why we've become great friends, because we want to share ways to help you grow your business. So without me rambling on anymore, I'm going to introduce John Poley.
Hey Joshua, thanks for that introduction. I'm thrilled to be on your podcast. Thank you for the invitation. I'm going to cover a lot of material today. I think we may end up breaking this into 2 different sessions. I call this the alphabet of conversion. For anyone who's considering Facebook advertising, I can tell you that has been my sole focus for the past 4 years. That's all I do. Joshua, you are definitely the authority on all things SEO. Everyone, if you remember me for one thing, just associate me with Facebook advertising. I think I'm too impatient, Joshua, for SEO. I like the right now, click right now part of Facebook advertising. I admit I'm impatient. But let's go ahead and jump right into the alphabet. The letter A of the alphabet, when it comes to Facebook, I look at the audience. The audience is important. We have a lot of demographic data that we can select with Facebook. We know if someone owns a home, if they rent. We know if they have high net worth. We know what their income rate is. We know how many lines of credit they have. So if you're a mortgage lender, your audience may be someone who doesn't have like 9 different lines of credit. If you're looking for sellers for real estate, you're looking for people who own a home. That's your demographic. That's your audience, the letter A. Beyond the audience, you go to the ad. The ad has to resonate with that audience. We can all get very logical in our advertising. Well, you got to buy now because interest rates are going up. Your buying power is not. What people care about on the ad is the imagery. People, remember this, people buy on emotion. They back it up with logic. They buy on emotion. So we want an ad, the advertisement, the image or the video needs to have emotion in it. So we go from audience to the right ad that resonates. And if those 2 planets are in alignment, we get to the action. Do we want them to click to a website? Do we want them to fill out a form? Facebook actually has forms they can fill out inside of Facebook. What is the action? We can actually start a messenger chat right away. That's another form of action. So we have the right audience, the right ad. If those match, they're going to take the right action. And then we need automation. We need automation on the back of that to make sure that we're not just generating a bunch of internet leads that go cold. How fast can your response time get? So when we go through the checklist and the alphabet of conversion, audience, ad, action, automation, takes that first letter of the alphabet, the A. The letter B. On Facebook, are you going to be branded or are you going to go stealth? If you're stealth, I will tell you, you can get more leads. That means it's not the brand. You're more generic. But I can also tell you those leads, even though you're getting more of them as stealth, less branding, they're harder to convert. I have mixed feelings on that. The letter B is branded. If you're a real estate agent, it is the business of relationships, but you can't even get into relationship if you come on too strong, if you are too much of a salesperson. So the letter B is branded. Take caution. Are you going to be in their face? Are you the best thing since sliced bread? Or are you going to take a softer approach and go in stealth and maybe provide more value up front without so much of it being about UVP or unique value positioning? What can you give them for free, be more generic, and then you get to have more conversations on the back end? Do you trust your follow-up? If so, you may be less of a salesperson, less branded at the beginning, just trusting that you have the right type of follow-up. But you could go either way on that one. The letter C of the alphabet, your cell phone. Why are we forgetting the CELL phone when it should be your SELL phone? The letter C is for cell phone. On the ads themselves, I've seen this so many times, Joshua, where we get too caught up in the funnel. Drive them from this ad, they go to this website. We have cookies and we do remarketing and we do all this stuff in the funnel. At the end of the day, most people, when they browse, especially if they're on a laptop computer or an iPad or even a desktop computer, people browse the internet, but they also have their phone within 5 feet of them. It's usually right in their pocket. If they see something they like and you have a phone number there, a lot of people like to have a conversation. At least give them that opportunity by putting your cell phone or some type of call tracking phone number on the ad itself. C is for cell phone. Do not forget to put that on the sales copy on your ad on Facebook. Going to the letter D of the alphabet. Digital directionals. My background, Joshua, and I know it's the same with you. We come from the real estate industry. We've worked in the real estate industry, the housing. And one thing that you'll notice when we have open houses or a new construction neighborhood, they have these directionals. Turn left here, turn right here. And they'll have a lot of signs out for the open house or whatever event that they have. You can do this same thing virtually through a Facebook ad. On your ads, you can actually have a button. They click, they see the ad, they like it. Its location, the location's important. They can click and they can get directions directly from the ad. So the letter D of the alphabet stands for digital directionals. It's great for open houses, directions to your office, your place of business. Moving on to the letter E of the alphabet. My favorite thing on Facebook is, besides the instant gratification that I mentioned earlier, I'm impatient. Getting those clicks fast is important. When I run advertising, I do get very specific on the demographics that I market to, but also for the letter E of the alphabet, exclusion or exclude. I like to exclude people who are my competitors. So I can exclude, if I'm a real estate agent, I can exclude people by the job title of realtor, agent, broker. I can exclude by employer of Keller Williams, Coldwell Banker, Remax. The reason I do that is not because I'm not friendly with all the other real estate agents in what happens to be my industry. I just know that curiosity clicks, and I don't want to pay for curiosity and those clicks. And on top of that, I don't want to create my next competitor. They see some great ad that I have on Facebook. I don't want them to copy that and then become my competitor and start spending money doing something similar funnel or similar ad. I want to exclude them from even seeing my ad. And that's the best way to ensure that you're keeping your click price lower and then you're not creating competition. E is for exclusion, exclude when you run a Facebook ad. Bringing me to the letter F of the alphabet. My favorite word, funnel, Funnel. I have an acronym. You might want to write this down. Something that you should do whenever you create a funnel is spell out the word funnel. And I'm going to give you a 6-part acronym to the word funnel spelled out. F stands for freemium. You always give away something for free with premium value. The word free and premium put together is freemium. So I start every funnel by giving away something for free. The U of funnel is upsell. There's never a thank you page. After they opt into whatever you gave away for free, you got their contact info. Now you direct them to an upsell page. The upsell will be your big product or your end goal, or it could be something on a lower tier. If you have a really built out business where you have different tiers of products, maybe it's the next natural progression. So if you're in real estate, your free giveaway could be a free house value estimate. If they opt in to get a free value of estimate of their house, your upsell would be you on a short video on the upsell page, not the thank you page, the upsell page, saying, thank you so much for your interest in your house value. I just gave you an estimate based on public data. The public data is not terribly accurate and doesn't tell the full story. I'm a real estate agent. I participate in the multiple listing service, which means I have access to all of the data. What I'd like to do is have a 15-minute phone call with you, get more details on your house, and provide a accurate estimate of what your house is worth today. All you have to do is call the phone number below this video or click to send me an email and just request, I want the full comprehensive report. I want the full report. If you put that on a video, on an upsell page, you're going to have a certain percent of the people who will call you, who will click and send you an email. And it'll say in the subject line, send the full report. So again, this is the acronym. You start with a freemium. You go to the upsell. Some people will take you up on the upsell. Not the majority, but some people will. That brings you to N. The first N of funnel stands for newsletter. Because you gave away something for free, it was digital content, a PDF, a guide, ebook, some videos that you send them. You got their contact info, at least their email address. Now you can send them a newsletter once a month, backing up what you do for a living, providing great content. Make sure that your newsletter has something to do, a lot to do, with what they originally downloaded. So if they downloaded a what is my house worth estimate, and you upsold them, you told them you're in real estate, you should reasonably expect that newsletter would have like a monthly market update. Here's the real estate market. It could also have things that are hyperlocal. Real estate is a hyperlocal business. Your newsletter should be hyperlocal and not just about real estate. Here are the fun events to do in Austin, Texas. Here are the upcoming music venues and bands that are playing in downtown Austin. Here are some cool things to take the kids to in Austin, Texas. And then a little bit of shameless promotion in your newsletter. Here's what the market's doing. Call me if you'd like to buy, sell, list. I'm here to help you with your next move. Calls to action. That brings me to the next N in funnel, if you spell out funnel. Next offer. So every newsletter that goes out is going to have a next offer. Click here to pre-qualify, download my mobile app. Here's a coupon. If you have a different type of business and you want to provide a coupon to get them back in the store, your next offer could be part of your newsletter template. Those two go together. And that brings me to the fifth letter of funnel, the E, expand. Expand market. If you have a good newsletter, it's consistent with content, it's going out the same day of each month, there's expectation and anticipation that that's going to come out. And what you're going to find is the people who subscribe to your newsletter, get that newsletter, they're going to start telling people about you. You're top of mind for whatever it is that you do. You're consistent and you provide a good service. And that's the ultimate business, referrals. But the fifth letter of funnel is E for expand. Let your followers, your tribe, expand the market for you. Bringing me to the last letter of the funnel, lifetime client, L. The letter L, lifetime client. Your goal should not be just one sale, it should be many sales. If you're in real estate and you just sold them their first house, you should be selling them and helping sell their next 3 houses during their lifetime. Lifetime clients are loyal fans. They will refer business to you. And when they need to buy or sell, they're going to continue to come back to you. So spell out funnel. Every time you're thinking about, oh, I got this great ad, it's going to run in a newspaper. I don't care if it's not internet or Facebook. Spell out funnel. This is your checklist. What's the freemium? What's the upsell? What's the newsletter? What's the next offer? Expand. Lifetime client. And if you want a book that actually shows you this and a workbook to go with it, get out your mobile phone right now. I'm going to practice what I preach. I'm going to give you something for free of premium value, an actual book that you could buy. I'm going to give it to you free right now. You got your mobile phone ready? Okay, I want you to send a text message. Text the word convert CONVERT. Text the word convert to 33444. And I'm going to send you a copy of my book called The Ultimate Conversion Funnel Blueprint. I'm going to send you the workbook that goes along with that. And I'm going to send you free coaching that I do every week on how to build funnels. So this is a free gift for you on how to get really good at this. And the reason I mention this while I'm talking about Facebook and the alphabet of conversion and the letter F standing for funnel is what I've noticed is before you start spending money on Facebook, you need to fix your funnel. You need to make sure that you have a high opt-in option, not just driving traffic to the About Us page or Contact Us page of your website, but what is your high opt-in? If you're giving away something premium for free, that's your high opt-in rate. And that also happens to make a great Facebook ad. Download my free book, my PDF, my checklist. That always works. So you real estate agents out there, stop driving traffic to the IDX page, property search on your website. You may get 1 out of 100 people to register on that IDX page of your website. Why? Because they could go to thousands, hundreds of thousands of websites and search for property. Why yours? And why are you forcing them to register on your website to search for property when they can go to 100,000, literally thousands in your market of websites and not register? Give them something for free that's outside of the box that they don't just find with every real estate agent if that's your business. So letter F is funnel. We're definitely going to have to split this up into 2 days. The letter G is for Google. You know, maybe some of you following Joshua's podcast, you've heard of Google. It has so much to do with SEO. But what I look at Google is smart, and Google is such a dominant player in search engines that Google starts to define the market. They start to define our behaviors and condition us for, in the case of Google, I look at Google for search results. And I'm so used to that. And I use Google 20 times a day. Look at Google. They use the color blue throughout Google. You look at Facebook. They use the color blue. If you're in real estate, you look at Zillow. They use the color blue. And I've read books on what colors mean, different colors that you use. So when we talk about what's getting more clicks, if people are already conditioned for clicking on blue, the search results on Google, and clicking on blue, the buttons within Facebook, and clicking on blue, the pages of Zillow, blue is the dominant color. So whenever I create a Facebook ad, I'm very conscious of what people are already conditioned to do. So if I create what looks like a hyperlink, let's say on an image on a Facebook ad, guess what? I'm going to use the color blue, and it's going to look very similar to the blue color that I see on Google. So G is for Google. Even though I'm talking about Facebook, I want to mimic a process that they're already familiar with. Blue gets more clicks, whether that be Facebook ads or really anything in general on the internet. Bring me to the letter H. Now this one is for you real estate agents out there. We've all seen them. What is my house worth? A lot of agents do this on Facebook. The house value ad. So I'll give you a few quick tips on that. Going back to the letter A of the alphabet, remember I said it's 4 different things. It's the audience, it's the ad, it's the action, and it's the automation. So let me apply this to the letter H for house value. Your audience is going to be people who own homes, people who've been in the home for 6+ years, people who have or are rated as likely to move as a behavior within the demographic data of Facebook. And of course, I'm going to exclude the letter E, exclude the realtors. I'm also going to exclude people if they've done a recent mortgage loan. Usually in real estate, if they've just refinanced their house, they're not going to move anytime real soon. And that's the audience. Now in this house value ad, I move to the ad. What does that ad look like? I like to say your updated house value report is ready. People want instant gratification. The house value ads, since real estate agents started learning, I started teaching this specifically with Facebook about 4 years ago. Now there are other people who teach how to run house value ads on Facebook. But you got to assume a lot of agents have done this. People have already registered on a website like a house value website. So the ad I create now you're keeping in mind that they've probably already taken action. They've already registered on one or more sites for their house value over the years. I like to say your updated house value report is ready because statistics show that real estate agents are not great at follow-up. I'm going to assume that they probably registered on another website, they never followed up. And when I say your updated house value report is ready, they think, oh, this is that agent that does this update. And they're more likely to register. They've already been down that road, and they think, okay, I don't have to register or sign as many forms or fill out as many things. Your updated house value report is ready. That's what I like to use. And then while we're talking about the ad, I like to have an image of a streetscape or an aerial view of a neighborhood that's resonates with the people in that area. So in other words, that image of the streetscape or the aerial view of a neighborhood, it would look like homes in your area. The action that I want on that house value ad is I want them to get outside of Facebook, and I want them to go click and go to my house value page of my website. The automation that I want is instant gratification. And just like we talked about the letter F of the alphabet of conversion with Facebook, the instant gratification, that free report, that's your freemium. Then you go to the upsell, and that's where I mentioned earlier. Your upsell, if they're doing a house value ad, is you want an appointment. You want to make it very clear what you do, what your value is, and the value of a 15-minute phone call. That the report that they just got is not terribly accurate based on public data. Public data is only about 10% of the story. You have access to all the data because you're a realtor. And with a 15-minute phone call, you can provide or get enough information from them to provide a more accurate report. Now you're starting the conversation. So again, you can apply this formula to anything. I just applied it to the letter H for house value ad, but go back and review what I said on the letter A. You always have with Facebook the audience, the ad, the action that you want, and then the automation. And if you get those four things in alignment, you're going to do really well with Facebook. The letter I. Now this one is, real estate agents are going to get this. I don't know other business owners. If you have a sales department, you'll probably understand it. But I've also seen this in play with local mom and pop shops, the local optometrist, the local chiropractor, the local dentist, orthodontist, the local even hairstylist. They have these places on their website where you can actually book your appointment without ever talking to anybody. Guess what? In 2018, people love that. People love not talking to people and booking an appointment. It's respectful of time for both the person booking the appointment, and it's also respectful of time for the business establishment. People like this. It's a winner. The letter I of the alphabet stands for ISA, or Inside Sales Associate. Business owners may have this. Sales departments definitely do. Real estate agents are starting to hire this. An inside sales associate is in charge of basically everything phone call related, setting appointments for you. But it can be very costly. An ISA, inside sales associate, will make a lot of phone calls only to have a few conversations. And in my experience, that person, if they're full-time in your business, you're probably paying them $2,000 a month plus bonus structure. You could very easily be spending $3,000 a month for that type of role. And I'm not saying stop doing that. It does work. But it is something that you can automate through Facebook. So my version of the ISA, the letter I of the alphabet, for the alphabetic conversion with Facebook, is you set up an ad. You actually upload your database of previous customers, internet leads that may have registered on your website, people who may have visited your website but never registered, and that's called remarketing. We'll get that to the latter part of the alphabet. We'll talk about remarketing. This could be your allied resources, other business owners, your LinkedIn database, your Gmail database. You can actually upload all of this to Facebook in what's called a custom audience. But with ISA, what you do is you basically create this image or this video, an ad that runs 24/7, that runs to those people who are most likely to interact with your business. And the website we're going to land them on should be, I recommend, an appointment scheduling website. My favorite one for this is called Calendly, like calendar, CALENDLY, Calendly, and it's free. And it basically syncs with your Gmail, or your Google Calendar, or your Apple Calendar, or your Outlook. And this is what local businesses have already been doing for 5 years offline. But when you have an ad and you're top of mind and you're running this ad to these people who already know you, they want to book an appointment, you make it to where all they have to do is click and set up an appointment with you. If you're not a product vendor, you're not selling a product or a right now service like a haircut or getting my teeth cleaned or getting adjusted by a chiropractor. If you're a real estate agent, where they may not be ready for that yet, what I recommend, your call to action with Calendly, they should book like a 15-minute phone call with you. That would be a good action. So that's the ISA, Inside Sales Associate. That's the I of the alphabet. Let's jump over to the letter J. A book that you should check out, besides texting the word convert to 33444 to get my book, The Ultimate Conversion Funnel Blueprint, I highly recommend a book by Gary Vaynerchuk. The letter J stands for jab, 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 right hook. And Gary Vaynerchuk is an authority on social media, including Facebook. And his recommendation is not that different from the book that I wrote the same month that his book came out. But he has a boxer analogy. Maybe you can relate to that if you like watching sports or boxing. But in boxing, you never win. You never win with just right hook, unless your name's Mike Tyson and this is 1987, and you're just knocking people out with one right hook. But in normal boxing, you win by setting up for that right hook, that big powerful punch. You're setting up with a jab, another jab, and then a right hook. And this book called Jab, 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 Right Hook, it says basically, as business owners, entrepreneurs, as salespeople, we're taking too many big swings. We're going for the big sell instead of setting up a long-term process, a long-term nurture, a long-term funnel. You should start with more great content, free content, like I say in my book. But be less of a salesperson at the very beginning. There will be a time to make a sales pitch, but not in this day and age of social media, the information age, where you can find just about anything for free if you're willing to look for it on the internet. But the reason I think that people buy from you is because while you're providing this free content through a well thought out funnel, people are getting to know you. And when it comes time to purchase, they'd rather buy from you than a stranger. So get my book, Text Convert to 33444, or get Gary Vaynerchuk's book, Jab, 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 Right Hook. Either way, I just covered the letter J of the alphabet of conversion when it comes to Facebook. The letter K, killer ad copy, screenshots, browser bookmarks. These are things that you should have. And when you see someone who has a great ad, especially when it's within your industry, by all means, copy and paste that ad, save it in a folder, maybe call it the letter K for killer ad copy. And in that folder on your desktop of your computer, you're going to include screenshots, screenshot the ad, or bookmark that landing page or sales page or website, whatever it is you see, bookmark it in your web browser. And then that way, when you're creating the ad and you're thinking of creativity and what should I do for this? And remember what I said at the very beginning, emotion works best with advertising. When you're thinking of those creative things to put in your ad, you can always go back to this folder on your desktop and you can grab some of that killer ad copy that you thought was so clever and change it, make it your own. Don't just copy it. But if it worked, and a good sign on Facebook, if something is working, an ad is working, you're going to see that it has lots of positive likes and comments on it. That's a good sign that ad is probably working for that business. That brings me to the letter L, live video, undeniable. And I know Joshua's told you previously, because I listened to his podcast, the power of video with SEO. Video is powerful on Facebook. I went to the annual conference at Facebook headquarters in April of 2017. And everyone on stage, including Mark Zuckerberg, said video is where you need to focus as an advertiser. Live video is something on Facebook now that's part of desktop computers. You can go live from a mobile or a desktop computer or a laptop. There is no excuse for not doing this, and you don't need to spend a lot of money. And from talking to the developers and department heads at Facebook, they said use video because your video is going to get a lot more rankings in the newsfeed of Facebook than an image or just a text update or even an uploaded video. When it's a Facebook Live, you may have noticed this. When your friends are doing Facebook Live, notice how many ways Facebook notifies you. It's sending you an email. It's sending you a notification at the top right of Facebook if you're logged on from a desktop computer. Sometimes it's showing a little pop-up preview of your friend on the Facebook Live, starting a Facebook Live. And now, when you're watching a Facebook Live, it will also have a pop-up that says, do you want to be notified anytime this person goes Facebook Live again? But it's so inexpensive. So a few quick tips for the letter L, which is live video. I like two software programs. I use the software program called Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. And my cost is around $50 per month. And that allows me to host a webinar style format where I show my video, like a video conference, but I can also show my screen and I can show it on Facebook Live, most importantly. And that costs about $50. I think there's a lot of uses for this in business today to promote your business, but you don't want to just be the only focus of the Facebook Live video. You want to be able to show your website or your screen or explain a concept. Zoom is great software. And I also recently started using Wirecast, Wirecast. It is a product that allows me to stream video to Facebook and YouTube and Twitter all at the same time. That's a little bit more pricey. That's like $700 plus $100 per year. So it's a little bit more money, but well worth it. But those are two software programs you could look at. My favorite microphone is called the ATR 2100. You can find it on Amazon.com for under $70. Works great with PC and Mac computers. And then my favorite camera is also under $100 on Amazon. It's called the Logitech C922 Pro. So I actually have 3 of those cameras. I like it so much. The Logitech C922 Pro. That works, again, great on PC or Mac. I also own 2 of those microphones, the ATR 2100 by Audio-Technica. And then Zoom, I've been using that for a year. I like it better than GoToWebinar. GoToWebinar will not do that. Facebook Live. So again, that concludes the letter L of the alphabet for live video with Facebook. Very important. Technically, that's not advertising on Facebook, but after you do a live video, if you do it from your Facebook business page, you can boost that or you can run advertising to that. I think I'll cover 2 more letters of the alphabet, and then we'll break this up into 2 sessions, if that sounds good, Joshua. The letter M is for Messenger, as in Facebook Messenger. Messenger, this was the other talk of the Facebook conference and that I attended. We could get too elaborate with our, in my opinion, with our funnels. You know, building, we got to have the perfect funnel, go to the perfect website. And when with Facebook Messenger, if you think about it, Facebook Messenger is a mobile app, and it does integrate with SMS, text messaging. So you get all the benefits. You run an ad, but instead of telling Facebook, I want it to go to a website, I want it to go to Messenger. What that means is we're starting the conversation. So I'm sure you have all heard of ClickFunnels. There's this guy named Russell Brunson, and he has this business called ClickFunnels. You get the click, they go into this funnel. You do this, you have a landing page, a squeeze page, an authority page, all these different pages, so that you can eventually get their contact info. I say let's stop the insanity. Let's stop driving traffic through all these squeeze pages, hoping they register on this page or that page. They're in Facebook. They click on the ad because they like it. If you run an ad to start a conversation through Messenger, they click one more time, or they click on the ad, and now you're actually having a text message conversation with them through Messenger. What that means is SMS text messages have like a 98% delivery rate. So this is so much better than hoping that they go to your landing page and register, so that you can send them an email that only has a 70% delivery rate, lucky to have a 15% open rate, and lucky to have a 1% click-through rate to whatever your offer is. Now we look at Facebook Messenger through SMS text to their mobile phone. We have a 98% delivery rate. Get this, an 80% open rate. And through my testing and other companies out there testing it, we're seeing a 20% click-through rate. which is phenomenal. All those statistics are better than driving traffic outside of Facebook to a landing page, hoping to get accurate contact info so that you can hopefully deliver that email, and hopefully they open that email, and hopefully they click on whatever it is you offer. This skips a bunch of different steps. So instead of click funnels, I call this skip funnels. Skip the funnel, skip funnels. You heard it here first. That's the letter M of the alphabet. The next time you run a Facebook ad, instead of driving it to a website, your option is now you choose website or Messenger. And I say send it to Messenger. If you want to get really advanced on this, there are actually programs out there that will help you program some of this stuff. The one that I would highly recommend is ManyChat, ManyChat. I've been researching all the companies that make this process easy. First of all, the component of the ad, instead of going to website, it goes to Messenger. But now that you're starting a conversation on Messenger, you may not be able to manage that 24/7. There is an inexpensive software called ManyChat, and that costs like $10 per month. You attach it to a Facebook business page, and it lets you program some things like a autoresponder, so that it buys you some time. You're engaging someone right away, but it buys you some time to actually jump into Facebook and start having a real conversation, or better yet, a phone call. I know I'm getting a little bit technical here, but because I think anyone who follows SEO and Joshua's podcast, I'm assuming you're somewhat technical. So one of the things I really like about ManyChat, you've probably heard of another service, a website called Zapier.com, Zapier.com. You can actually connect what's happening on ManyChat. So let's say you're running ads, they're running to Messenger, you're getting all these conversations. Here's the coolest part. The second that they engage you on Facebook Messenger, you just got their first name, their last name, and their email address on autopilot, simply because they clicked on your ad, you sent them an automation through something like ManyChat, and now you have their first name, their last name, and their email address. The question is, how do I get that into my contact management system? Zapier.com is a solution for that. You can connect ManyChat through Zapier.com to like 500 different software programs. So whatever your software program is, that's a great way to make sure that you take the leads from ManyChat that is great for the automation and the starting the conversation. But now let's export it through Zapier.com. That service costs I think it's like $20 per month. And what it does is every 15 minutes it goes back to Facebook, looks for leads that came in, and then it will export it to whatever CRM that you tell Zapier.com to export it to. That's one of the advanced things, but I think your students, Joshua, can handle that if they're becoming SEO masters, as I know they probably are with the kind of content that you have on your podcast. This will be part one. Joshua and I spoke before this, and we knew we had a lot of content today. We'll schedule a part two here coming soon for the alphabet, but I'm going to end on the letter N. I always ask businesses that I consult, who is your audience? Really drill down. If your audience is, let's say you're a real estate agent, and you say sellers, I'm going to say that's not good enough. Drill down even further. What submarket? What is your niche within sellers, or niches within sellers? What is the audience? What is their problem? Do you have part of that answer? And that's the whole idea behind the funnel, the freemium, the giveaway. But you need to identify your niches. I recommend doing this on a sheet of paper before you even jump into Facebook. Because when you get into Facebook and you start looking through, thousands of categories on demographic data, interests, behaviors, everything from net worth to income to credit to relationship status to family size to age of kids to interest level, consumer behaviors. You need, and even down to are they on the go? Are they behind a desktop computer? Are they tech savvy? All these things you need to have written down on a piece of paper. When you look at your niches, you can market to expired listings. You can market to for sale by owners, to home builders, to loan qualification hot buttons, to different segments of buyers. Different things are going to be their hot buttons. What is my house worth? Rental, income properties, remodeling. And this is all within real estate, commercial real estate, residential real estate, land. You need to know all these things, and you need to drill down really far on that. And it's going to help you. I'll tell you something even better. Going back to that book, and I've mentioned it a couple times, if you get my Ultimate Conversion Funnel Blueprint, again, all you have to do, if you're listening to this podcast, is text the word convert, CONVERT. Text message the word convert to the phone number 33444, and I'll send that book to you and the workbook and the training that goes along with it. No cost. It's all free for anyone listening to this podcast. I help you through that, really drill down to your target audience. What is your avatar? What is their problem, and how to develop this kind of content to put out there on Facebook or even on your website, as Joshua teaches you SEO and how to drive more people to your online presence. How to create this content that sits out there that makes the most of the traffic that you get to your website, or makes the most of the clicks that you're paying on Facebook. It all comes down to niches. So spend some time on that. Go ahead and text that convert to 33444, and I'll send you more related content on how to basically identify and start building those things. Because everything Joshua teaches you, everything that you're going to get from this part 1 and the part 2 follow-up that we'll create, it's going to benefit you to really drill down and put on paper who exactly is your ideal client, and within reason, realistic. Yeah, we'd all love to work with $10 million and up sellers, and we'd all love to work with cash buyers. But who realistically can you attract? And what is that niche right now? But again, I'll see you on part 2, Joshua. Again, it's been fun. Thank you so much for inviting me here today.
Thanks so much, John. That was a wonderful podcast. I think our listeners got sort of 3 episodes in one, but maybe over the holidays they'll be able to listen to all of these. And man, so many great little tips there. I agree with the comment about Gary Vaynerchuk's book as well, because if you guys listen to my Future Proof Marketing podcast, that was actually one of the sort of inspirations of that conversation was Gary's book. So in the show notes there'll be information regarding this. There'll be the video so you can watch that. And be sure to tune in next week when we talk about the rest of the alphabet for Facebook. But then also as we get into 2018, where the focus is going to be of this podcast on lead generating. And so if you have any questions about how to generate leads, you guys may be using other words. You may be saying, oh, why is he calling it leads? All right, sales, whatever you want to call it, how to generate business online. if you have a question about that, just email me at joshua@forwardmarketing.com. That's joshua@4rdmarketing.com, and I will add your question to the list or add your topic to the list of things that we will consider talking about next year. So thanks so much for listening, and be sure to tune in next week when we cover part 2 of Facebook A to Z.